It is 1 p.m. in Damascus. It's 6 a.m. in New York. I'm Monita Rajpal.
And I'm Zain Verjee. This is World One live from London.
Syria's foreign minister says the army is withdrawing. Walid Mu'allim is in Moscow for talks with his Russian counterpart, Sergei Lavrov. Well, let's take you to Moscow now, where Russia's foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov, has been holding talks with the Syrian foreign minister. CNN's Phil Black is monitoring developments from the Russian capital. He joins us now live. What kind of word has come out of Moscow and the Kremlin in terms of what more of a harder stance, if they will be taking one, against Syria?
Well, Monita, some quick context here. This was a peace plan that Russia has backed very, very strongly.
It's being reported in Norway that a second study of the mental state of Anders Breivik has concluded he is sane. For more on the latest report and what it may mean for Breivik's case, Dinah Magnay joins us now from CNN Berlin. Dinah, this is what Breivik had supposedly wanted.
Yes, Breivik came out with a rambling 38-page letter just a few days ago.
But what about the concern, Diana, that this trial could very well be Breivik's opportunity to actually state his case and to have that platform that he is so desperately wanting to get his word out, his message out?
Well, this is obviously a huge concern, and this is why cameras have not been allowed into the courtroom.
Kind of flat, a little bit sexier, Monita.
All right, Zain, thank you very much for that. And also talking about another story you just mentioned there, Bubba Watson. He's definitely not your typical green jacket victor. The self-proclaimed hillbilly is causing something of a bit of a stir, and not just for his dramatic win at the U.S. Masters at the weekend. The golfing pro, who has never taken a lesson in his life, has a style all of his own, both on and off the green. Jeannie Mose takes a look.
If you think golf is a snobby sport, meet its latest star. Bubba Watson may have blubbered when he won the Masters.
One-of-a-kind characters. Pedro Pinto will be back a little bit later on here on World One with the rest of your day's sports. Stay with us here on World One. We want to speak to Salman Sheikh, who is the director of the Brookings Doha Center and who has written extensively on Syria. Salman, thank you very much for being with us. What options is on the table right now? Because it seems as though diplomacy hasn't or isn't working.
That's right. I believe actually the presser today between Lavrov and Mu'allim shows that diplomacy is not working. And
this international mandate, isn't that what they've been trying to do for the past year now? And that hasn't worked. The UN Security Council comes up deadlocked because Russia and China are not going to back a plan that will require Bashar al-Assad to step aside. And even this plan with Kofi Annan that does say that Bashar al-Assad stays in power, at least now for there to be a ceasefire, that's just coming up, just basically failing.
You're absolutely right. But we shouldn't say that diplomacy is a dirty word here. The diplomacy, in my view,
the European Court of Human Rights is giving the go-ahead for 5 terror suspects to be extradited from Britain to the United States. One of them is Abu Hamza, a radical Muslim preacher. Another is Babar Ahmed, a man who's been detained in Britain without trial for nearly 8 years. In the last couple of hours, the court rejected the men's claims that they could face inhuman or degrading treatment or torture in the United States. They have 3 months to appeal. CNN's Dan Rivers has been following today's ruling. He joins us now live with more. Dan, where did all this, give us some background to all of this.
Right, well, these men, alleged terrorists, have been fighting their extradition to the US.
All right, Dan, thank you very much. Dan Rivers here.
This is World One live from London.
Chelsea may be in the Champions League semi-finals this season, but their hopes of qualifying to play in the competition next year has suffered a bit of a setback. Pedro Pinto joins us now with more on that.
I do. Good morning.
Good morning.
Chelsea dropped to 6th place in the Premier League table on Monday night after a 1-1 draw in their West. You just scroll, keep on scrolling, and he actually went through where someone helped him do it and thanked everyone. I mean, thousands and thousands of people giving him the congratulations for his first major win.
It's that southern charm.
It is.
Right?
It must be. That's southern hospitality.
All right. You have that, don't you?
Y'all come back now, you hear? That's what I heard all the time when I was living in the South. Zain is just looking over there, a bit lost at what's going on over here.
Pedro Pinto, you're always charming, whatever accent you have. You know that. This is World One Live from London.
A few days to go until the 100th anniversary of the sinking of the Titanic, and to commemorate the event, two ships will be meeting at the site where the doomed vessel hit an iceberg off the coast of Newfoundland. The cruise liner Azamara Journey is to set sail this afternoon from New York. It'll make its first stop in Halifax, Nova Scotia, before heading to the site of the sinking. The other ship, the Balmoral, left the British port of Southampton on Sunday. Well, Chris Welch joins us now from the Pier 88 in New York City, where the Azamara is getting ready to depart. Chris.
That's right. Good morning, Monita. This is a pretty special day for a lot of people here. This is April 10th, I want to point out.
Look forward to that, Chris. Thank you very much for that. Chris Welch there on a beautiful morning there in New York City. Now, Titanic went down after hitting an iceberg on a clear, moonless night. But how common are icebergs that far south in the North Atlantic? And what role could the moon actually play in the, what role did the moon play in the ship's sinking? Well, Mari Ramos has been looking into that at CNN World Weather. Mari.
Ooh, Monita, so many questions, right? It's still a big mystery, and people are so into this story even 100 years later, as Chris was telling us there, with those cruises going on and all of the memorials going on all over the world as people remember this. Now, there are different theories going out there as what could have made the situation worse for Titanic. We'll talk about the icebergs in a minute, but I want to start talking about the moon.
Very cool. Mari Ramos, thanks. A group of children from Washington State are unlikely to forget Monday's ride to school.
Before we go, we also want to share with you a good story. It was a rare and moving encounter for a Florida family. They were preparing to sail their boat near Jacksonville.
Very nice. You're watching World One Live from London. I'm Zain, Verjee.
I'm Monita Rajpal. Thank you for joining us. We'll update you on the news headlines at the top of the hour right here on CNN.